sisters have been on top of the gospel music industry through most of the 80s. They were inspired by their mother, Dr. Mattie Moss Clark, at an early age, and since then they've been singing gospel here in Detroit and throughout the country. The Clark sisters regularly gathered around the piano at home with their mother, singing songs that were written in the early 1970s. Twinkie, Albertina Clark, began writing and composing music, and with the help of their uncle, Bill Moss, they began recording.
Uncle Bill Moss, who is the originator of Bill Moss and the Celestials, who is also the father of Bill and Jimmy Moss, who also record and sing, the Moss Brothers. He did the first recording on us, and that was the first time that my mother allowed us to experiment with the material that Twinkie had written, which was when she first really started to write. And my uncle, pursued us getting it, actually put out, and that's how the first album came about, was through him.
And the albums began to roll. Unworthy, Count All Joy, You Brought the Sunshine, Heart and Soul, and Conqueror. But it wasn't until 2 years after the release of You Brought the Sunshine that the sisters would hit the big time.
A disc jockey out of New York. The way he explained the story to us one day, he was going off the air, and the guy that was coming on behind him was a gospel DJ, and he had his album sitting up on the desk, and he said he had cleared all of his albums off, and he saw this album sitting up there, and he said, oh, he was in a hurry, and he said the last song was going off, and so he grabbed our record and put it on, and when he put it on, as he was packing up his equipment to leave the desk for the new disc jockey to come in, he said the phone started ringing. And he said the phone kept ringing and ringing, ringing for hours. He kept calling and requesting to play the song again. And that's really how You Brought the Sunshine really came to life for us.
Just to add, when Twinkie wrote that song, or when she was doing that whole album, that was one of the numbers that she least expect that was gonna really, be out there. And because it was really like, well, I'm just gonna use this since we need another song, so I'm just gonna use this one, Then at that time, that's when the reggae tune was out, and that's when she had thought to I'll just put that on. So that was one we least expect.
Numerous awards and Grammy nominations followed. The latest for the album Conqueror, nominated for a Grammy in 1988. And despite the Clark sisters' success, they haven't forgotten their roots, and they recorded their latest album right here in Detroit, bringing it back home.
That when you sing gospel, I think it's important that you live what you sing. I think it's very important that you do not display one thing on the stage and something else off the stage, especially with the drug scenes that we have in our environment today, where the young people are faced with so many different obstacles, with so many different kind of diversities in life. And I think when people see us for who we really are, when people see us as everyday people, we live just like they do. And I think it's important that we don't forget our roots, that where we came from, that, the way our parents brought us up.
The Clark sisters are like royalty. If their mother, if we're going to use that analogy, if Dr. Mattie Moss Clark is the queen in Detroit, then her daughters would definitely be the crown princesses.
This album has a mixture of traditional and contemporary music that appeals to all audiences.
We have contemporary. Okay, would you try to grab those ones that, like,
you know, the music, the sounds or whatever. And but usually in our concerts, we usually do God, the Spirit of God takes us in a different way. We usually do the songs, but we always end up with a song that's touching to the audience, that we can minister to them, and I think that's the most important thing.